Hello, everyone. This is Bob Thibodeau again with you. We've been going through the top 10 reasons why newbie internet marketers fail. And today I want to talk with you about point number 6, which is insufficient funds. Insufficient funds is going to kill an online marketing business, just as it would any traditional business. You know, the Bible even has a scripture that talks about in Luke 14:28 about not doing proper planning. It says, "For which of you, intending to build a tower, doesn't sit down first and count the cost, whether he has enough money to finish it?" If you were opening a traditional business online, you'd have to have the funds to do so, correct? I mean, I remember when I was first researching a possible franchise investment. And my goal was to have my own golf store. I enjoy golf, and I thought, when I retired, it'd be a great business to get into. And I decided that a franchise was the perfect thing to do. So I started researching it. And, the idea behind the franchise was that there are people who operate the franchise that know what to do, how to do it, and they could guide me, and I wouldn't be out there on my own just struggling. And part of the franchise agreement was to have at least 6 months of operating capital in the bank prior to opening the doors. I mean, it was part of the business plan. It was a requirement. Why is that? Because not having enough money on hand to cover expected and unexpected expenses was a guarantee that you were going to fail. Internet marketing is so attractive to so many different people because of the low overhead to get started and to operate. But just like my example of the golf store franchise, you must have some money on hand just to get started. I covered in a prior post earlier that you'll be facing some serious and unexpected expenses when you first start out. I mean, there are new technologies coming out every single day. If you haven't already, once you actually start getting into this, your inbox is going to be absolutely flooded every single day with new ideas, new software, new marketing plans, new technology. Some of them you can just skip over until later when the resources are there. But some you will need to invest in at the beginning. I mean, some will help you actually to get started. Some will help you manage your business as it's ramping up. Some will actually make you money. But most are just a waste of money as you're getting started. And you alone are the only one who knows what you can and cannot afford. Don't listen to the marketing hype. Okay? You should first avoid every temptation to purchase the latest and the greatest software or product or whatever email has ended up in your box. Stick with the tried and true. Stick with what you can afford before you spend money you don't have. And you should make a clear-cut policy, okay, that you only buy something new when the current thing that you're working on has begun to generate income. Because otherwise, you're not going to know what works or what doesn't work. But if you stick with what's tried and true and you adjust from there, then you'll know, this is what's going to work for my marketing niche. And then you can make a decision about what software and upgrades to purchase to make it even more efficient. Okay? The first thing you need to do is develop a business plan. Okay? You have to decide on exactly how much money you can do without. I emphasize without. Because you might lose every nickel of it. You should have at least a plan, just as it did in the franchise business I gave it as an example, of having at least 6 months of operating capital that you're willing to invest to get started. Okay? I mean, you need to study your competition as you're doing your business plan. You need to identify resources that you're going to need to get started. And I covered the basic requirements of that in a prior video. But you need to identify what your first steps are as you come out the gate. Because you and you alone will be the one who will be evaluating what's successful and what failed. You'll need to fix what went wrong and repeat what went right. As I stated before, you must identify how much money you can afford to put into your business. As I said, this is money that you probably will not have access to for between 6 months and a year. And it's possible that you could lose the entire thing and have to start all over again. So is this money that you're willing to lose access to or lose entirely without it affecting your current personal obligations? You see, failure to plan on this may put your entire business in jeopardy from the very beginning. Next, you need to identify how much time you're going to be able to devote to beginning your business. Many newbie marketers do not calculate this prior to starting. You're going to need to put in some extra time, in the beginning at least, on building a quality website. You're going to need to create your first pages and posts, and you'll be acquiring knowledge and experience as you build these pages and posts and learning how to manage your website. In my experience, I spent more time building the site and learning how it worked than I did posting. And this cost me money because I wasn't willing to pull the trigger on sales, and I was spending too much time trying to make my site perfect. Don't allow perfectionism to slow down your launch date, because it is going to cost you some money. Okay? I can't emphasize that enough. Not taking action, I'll discuss in a later video, but basically not taking action, not pulling the trigger, because you want to make your site perfect, will end up more or less coalescing in your mind that you're never going to be ready, because your site will never be perfect. It will never be good enough. Your site, I don't care who you are, if you looked at the Apple website, they're constantly changing it. Why? Obviously, they have a product that works. Obviously, they have a marketing plan that works. Obviously, they have a website that works. Why change it? Because you're always fine-tuning little things. So pull the trigger. Let's start getting some sales into your pockets. Let's start getting some income into your business. Then you can do other things to make it better. It'll never be perfect, but you can make it better. All right? We covered this already about pulling the trigger. You need to schedule time in your schedule. Actually schedule time for content creation. You need to be in a state of continual content creation. That doesn't mean 100% of your time. I mean, if you're a fast writer, you can schedule your content creation once per day. If you're a little slower, maybe a couple times per week at a minimum. And this is going to be very important to your SEO rankings and your visitors to have new content on your website. Okay, websites, when a visitor comes to a website that hasn't been updated recently, it's a turnoff. They're leaving. They figure, well, his business went broke. I mean, he's not doing anything here, and they're going to go somewhere else. You need to build into your personal schedule time for content creation. You need to stick to this schedule. Make it a business appointment with yourself. One that you will keep. If you were scheduling a meeting with a content designer, and you had this meeting from 10 till 11 on your schedule, and someone called up and said, hey, can we meet for coffee today? You're going to tell them, I can't. Yeah, I can meet you for coffee. How's 11:30 sound? Well, no, I was looking more along 10 o'clock. I'm sorry, I got another appointment already. They don't need to know the appointment's with yourself. You just need to tell them, look, I have an appointment and I can't do it until after this time. Keep these appointments. Make it a priority. I can't emphasize that enough. Too many newbie internet marketers feel that they can just work whenever they want to. That is a recipe for failure. It will kill your business. Something else you got to look at is driving traffic to your website and your sales funnels. Now, it could be pay-per-click, it could be solo ads, it could be Facebook ads, Google ads. I personally like the free giveaways myself as a method of driving traffic. Now, if you give away quality content that helps another marketer fill a need that they have, and all you ask in return is permission to contact them again via email, you are able to build your list and establish a relationship all in one transaction. You may not earn any money on this in the beginning, but you're going to begin to build trust. Someone is not going to invest money with you until they trust you. If they don't trust you, I don't care if you're selling your products for $1 a piece. They're going to think in their mind, well, he's only asking $1 because they're only worth $1. He's only asking $3 is because that's all they're worth is $3. They won't trust to invest $49 or $97 with you until they trust what you're going to give them is worth $97. All right? You can also use social media, blog posts, and that takes even more time. I didn't go over that, but it will cost you time. All methods of driving traffic will cost you time. Even the free giveaways, because you're creating the content to give away. Even if you use social media and do blog posts, you're going to be spending time on social media, on other people's blogs, making comments and things like that. So everything is going to cost you time and or money. But you need to make a budget for both. I can only afford to do 2 hours on Wednesday, but I can do 4 hours on Thursday, 3 hours on Friday, and 6 hours on Saturday. Put it on your schedule. I can only afford to do $25 a week in advertising. Whatever it is, that's your budget, stick with it. But you need to make sure that you have time and money put into your budget, put into your business plan, because otherwise you're going to be with insufficient funds. And lastly, avoid distractions. Distractions will cost you money. Distractions will cost you time, and time equals money. Amen. Well, if you're working from home, plan your work hours around family requirements, but then stick to the schedule. If you have to take care of the kids and run errands during the day, plan your work in the early morning hours. That's right, get up early, get up 2 hours earlier if you need to. You're building a business. Don't tell me you got to sleep. You're building your business. Get up 2 hours earlier while you're putting everything together, or stay up 2 hours later in the evenings. You cannot effectively operate your business if you're only going to put in 1 hour here and there in between other things that are going on. Only you can determine what schedule works best for you. And finally, once you make your plan, stick to it. Before launching, make your business plan. Make your content creation plan. Set a budget, and then stick to the plan. This is Bob Thibodeau. I'll talk to you again real soon.